Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. Happy Sunday. Welcome back to Crypto Traders Arena. This is our Sunday Crypto Weekly Review. I guess we're at episode number 50. Geez, so a couple weeks left in the year. Happy holidays to everyone. I guess we're wrapping up 2023. Here we go. It's just another year in the, I don't know, in the bank. What do you call it? Another year older. Here we are. Maybe it's the end of the accumulation year. That's what we said all year. And I think that was pretty spot on in general with as far as altcoins go. And the purpose of this whole show, of course, is to just try to invest in altcoins and take advantage of the cyclical nature that this market seems to be repeating every 4 years or so. Accumulation year. Yeah, so sorry, I just had something blast in my headphones there for a second. It kind of threw me off for a second. And as a reminder, I saw YouTube, when I opened YouTube today, it gave me a notification that now we can put people in timeout mode in this chat here. So you guys better watch what you're saying. My first thought was to maybe just put Miku in timeout, but I didn't. So yeah, if you say some crazy shit, I'm going to put you in timeout on YouTube. Whatever that means. But anyhow, what was I saying? Oh yeah, something about the year. Damn, another year behind us. But I think in general, I was talking about our plan, the whole purpose of this show. That's right. So of course we do this show every week. We're at episode 50, so we've done 50 weeks of this 52-week year. We started in the first week of January with this project, and the whole point was to just kind of identify good buying locations for the sort of top 100 market cap altcoins or so, a little more than that, and simply put, we're just trying to allocate 1% of our portfolio to each one of those names, buy in reasonable places, meaning bottoms of ranges, and just try to sell half of our position when it doubles and get our capital back, and then ride the rest all the way into the bull market whenever that actually happens. And we're using the Pi cycle top indicator as a sort of a warning shot of when the peak euphoria is hit. And I think it's safe to say, while we are in a pretty bullish market at the moment, I know this isn't peak euphoria. Even if you're newer and you see things like Bonk going to 8 billion market cap or whatever the hell it is, that's not actually peak euphoria. It might seem like it to somebody that's newer to this, but we're not even truly in a real bull yet, like a whole macro market. Basically all of crypto is in a bull. We're basically in this place where things are ripping for sure, kind of in the second kind of altcoin season of the year. There was one earlier in the year, basically straight out the gates, market bottom at the end of last year, and then basically made some pretty, probably like maybe it was only like 20% of the market though, or maybe 20, 30, 40% of the market at most of the coins that really ripped. A lot of things just still continue to grind sideways or even make new lows through that first rally. And then I guess this next rally or current rally, sort of the same, but with more weekly W's, more accumulation behind us, more flat sideways consolidation. And this second alt season has sort of set up better than the first one, in my opinion. And I think probably more coins are ripping on average if you were to look at like the whole market as a whole, or just the entire market, and see a lot of the market's ripping. There's still some things that haven't performed. There's things that look bottomed that haven't really done anything yet, but there's a lot of stuff that's ripping. And of course meme coins are ripping right now, and on-chain shit is going nuts. So generally pretty positive, but I don't think this is a real bull yet. Like, when we truly start the bull, that's not what I mean to say. When we're not anywhere near peak euphoria yet, is what I was saying. So like, I don't think we're anywhere near the place where like the public's piling in, and you have your friends calling you when after Bitcoin's up 10x, asking if they should mortgage their house and go all in. We're not there yet, so hopefully you're already long on some level. If you're watching this show and you've taken the time to watch this show over the last year, hopefully you at least managed to get long on something, and hopefully you're enjoying this rally, and hopefully you have profit-taking systems in place so that you can exit some of these positions so that you don't have to ride them all the way back down. which is of course why we like to, you know, with this particular plan, we're just trying to sell half of our position on a double. Like I said, that way we're, you know, we can just sort of sit back and chill after that, right? We establish a free position and then we just hold it. And whether it's a year from now or 2 years from now or 6 months from now, when that pi cycle top indicator does fire, and I do, last time the pi cycle top fired was in the first high of the last cycle, so it fired back here, and I think that was pretty peak euphoria, and of course everybody shit their pants when price dumped, and then we ripped to a new high briefly, but peak euphoria was on right here in the, in just the whole vibe of the market was very different than right now. So just keep that in mind, and hopefully we get more opportunities to load up again. Like I'd like to see the market have a sizable dip here, another dip that could potentially represent the last solid buying opportunity of like buying bottoms, and then we will go into like an uptrend. Might not get it. Of course, we never know what's going to happen, but I think just zooming out, we should just be mindful of there, Bitcoin's in a kind of sort of precarious location still. I mean, it hasn't changed much since last week. We're basically sitting kind of in the same area as last Sunday, which is kind of oscillating around the 50% level. And so it's still, like I said last week, I think we're in the, there's like a very no man's landy kind of feel to this, because with 61.8 right above at 48,000, I could easily see price ripping up there, no problem. That's in fact what we would expect. And there's this key high going back here too. Does easily seem like that could be taken out at any moment. But on the flip side, there's a lot of open air down here, and Bitcoin could just dump here too. So it's like very dangerous location to be thinking long on Bitcoin, that is, So of course, altcoins, the more Bitcoin can just stay stable, maybe even go sideways a bit right here and just kind of maintain the uptrend. I think that's the better scenario for altcoins, which is kind of what we're mostly focused on here, especially for this show. I mean, I'm not, I love Bitcoin, but like, I'm not trying to, well, it's not, I'm trying to trade altcoins here for the sake of this show. So I'm really looking at Bitcoin as a proxy for what might happen in the altcoin land going forward. And so I suppose just maintaining this uptrend would be nice. However, point I'm getting at is this is just it's a hard place to start making bold claims here, even though everything's ripping straight up. We're sort of getting a little bit overcooked, and I don't personally. I'd like to see Bitcoin dip down into this area somewhere, and I'll just. There's not a lot of new things to say about Bitcoin, but I'll just say the same things. It's just we've been in this solid uptrend. A solid dip down to even like 32 is still maintaining the uptrend, but man, people are gonna freak the fuck out if that happens. That's gonna nail altcoins. There's gonna be, if you have your bids working against things like market structure bottoms and altcoins, that'll be when you get those fills, is in that kind of dip. So let's see if it happens. I mean, so far, just nothing about this is topped out. That's for sure. I don't think you can say there's a solid top here, especially on the weekly. Could zoom in a little. Well, real quick, I'll just quickly mention that, of course, RSI is very much overbought still, but it hasn't broken. And OBV is still pushing higher and actually making a new high, which made just a wider W. So weekly charts, certainly no tops here. All we have is just this kind of 50% level location, which suggests to me that price could easily just oscillate around here for a bit. Not sure what this orange line was actually. Probably at the 50% level and got moved, but you can see the 50% level here at the top of the orange box. It wouldn't be a huge surprise to see price kind of stick around here for a little bit. And of course, the last comment I'll make is this sort of ETF narrative. I don't know what the other side of the ETF thing's going to look like. I just know that we're kind of ripping into it, right? That was supposed to be in like January sometime. So we've got 2 weeks left of the year. Haven't really dipped into the end of the year like I thought might happen in the, a couple months ago. And I don't know, I suppose if we rip right up into that ETF, it could become like a sell the news type thing. But I feel like everybody's going to think that. So I don't know if everybody thinks the same thing. I don't know if that'll happen. So I guess the hard part that's the funny thing about trying to make subjective statements about markets is none of us know what's going to fucking happen. All we can do is try to create a system that we can sort of take advantage of opportunities with asymmetric risk, right? We can't really get into like making these shows is kind of hard because I don't know what's going to happen here. All I know is Bitcoin doesn't look like it has a top here. So if I was trying to trade Bitcoin, I wouldn't be quick to be a shorter right here. That's all I can really say. And if we zoom in a little bit, maybe I could see a shorter for sure stepping in. You know, we did put in a daily M, so we have broken on the daily a bit. And I think from last week, the real big change was the retest of the M. So that is the makings of like somewhat of a rollover happening. It just doesn't show up as much on the weekly, that's for sure. But when you look at the daily here, you can clearly see an M, lost the M, came back and retested it, hovered around that M breakdown for a couple days, and then broke down again. Now we've got like a inside bar basically that's firing to the downside. So, and you can see how they're just sort of backfilling this open air here. So I don't know. Kind of looks like we could easily come back down into like the 38,500 area just against these highs. That could be that seems reasonable going forward here. However, like any sort of like support found at these lows here, we might still just be range bound in this area. So like we'll have to see what happens when price gets down to this low here. I do still just see more fair value gaps underneath that level. So I mean, support looks like 38,400, 500 or so for now. I don't know if that's enough of a dip to make the kind of altcoin buying opportunities that we're looking for, but it'd be a start. I still think kind of back against like maybe all the way down into these highs at 32. I'm sorry, did I say those? I feel like I said, oh no, I was saying 38,200 or 38,500. Sorry. I got down here and I was like, wait, am I saying the right damn numbers? 32,000 is sort of like big support, I'd say. And that's kind of the dip that would be nice to see here, but it better start dipping soon if it's going to do that. I keep catching my eye on this dinger. It's up 700% on the day. I mean, this is the kind of shit that is happening in the world. Like, I think this was a name that one of our members had been talking about a couple weeks ago. I hope they're in it. I'm not, but man, I noticed this thing's been just ripping today. It's up. I mean, it's sitting at 700% up on the day. So, I mean, clearly there's a lot of this kind of action in crypto right now, but I don't think that means that we're in a full-on bull yet. I just think we're at the beginnings of it. We're kind of at the end of the accumulation year. This is exactly, what we'll never know the exact timing of it, but basically what we've been anticipating is happening. Question is now for me, is same as last week, is, can I sell halves on doubles right now on things I'm long? Yeah. And I've got a couple doubles actually this week. I guess like on things like QI was one. Just, what can I say? My plan, unlike the Road to Financial Freedom plan, I am still selling another half on a second double here. It all comes down to your basic plan. I'm still sort of in the window of, I think these things are likely to come back down. Like, I think there's you could see the M in this, just to use this as an example. So like, let me go to a weekly chart here. Oh, well, you can't see the M. Let me stay on that daily M here. So, like this thing clearly has an M now, so it's broken. You can even see how RSI broke and M'd out and lost the moving average, and OBV is starting to break, but it hasn't yet. And so, can something like this get back down to reload zones sometime before the next rip or before the whole market kind of gets going again? I mean, we're still sort of in this area right now, so it's hard to talk about the next bottom just yet, but you can see Mountain Man's only this much farther down, not a lot. You can see how maybe tests of that high in the future is possible. So basically I'm just waiting for that next opportunity. If I'm long already, great. And if you're long already, then you just got to kind of follow your plan and hope for the best. And if you're still trying to get long, then you also got to follow your plan and just be patient and wait for these kind of retests, which I think will happen if Bitcoin can roll back over. And the fact that Bitcoin's just sitting at the 50% level kind of suggests that like it's in a place that easily could roll over. Now, we also could easily rip up to Mountain Man 61.8, like I said, out of nowhere. But if we can roll over, then these kind of trades are going to be back on again. So that's basically what I'm looking at. And I could pick any number of names to to sort of exemplify this. This one ripped super hard. We could take something like that didn't perform yet. Like, let me pick one here. Well, ones I'm trying to get filled on, like this CVX, for example, didn't. Now, I probably banged out doubles here off the lows, like 260 up to 5. Yeah, so there's probably doubles to be had if you were really buying, the 230 lows in here. I wasn't, but the point I'm getting at is you can see how this one's kind of looking a little bit broken. It's not going to take a lot for me to get my bids filled. You can see I have a bunch of bids sprinkled in down here against a weekly W. So like this one wasn't the kind of 4X ripper or anything like that yet, but it has a nice solid base here, and any kind of dip in Bitcoin will dip this thing down against the W. So going forward, I'm not gonna update my fibs because they're sort of basing my bids, but you could drag your fibs up here now and start, hunting a little bit higher, even if you were interested in this name. But just as an example, this is one that I do expect fills to be coming in on here. So do with that information what you will. I guess just trying to frame the narrative for me is like, we didn't get the end of the year dip like I thought. At least there's still 2 weeks left. But I do think it will still come before the Bitcoin halving. I think there's a likely chance that we'll get chances to buy things like this against W's going forward. And I'll just end that whole conversation because I guess I'm just sort of vibing out here as normal, but I'll end that conversation just once again saying that like Bitcoin's still in an uptrend. So even a sizable dip in Bitcoin will, we could come all the way back down to 32 and nothing's really changed. We're still just making, higher highs and higher lows. That's a higher low, higher high, a dip all the way down to here, and a W is actually very bullish. So don't freak out in that move that could happen at any moment. I mean, at any given moment that could happen. To be fair, at any given moment we could rip up here. So very dangerous place for investors in Bitcoin, but end of that point, uptrend is still intact, which is good for altcoins. I think as long as Bitcoin just maintains a relatively, hopefully not too face rippy. The problem with this is we're starting to get very parabolic here, actually. Starting to face rip pretty good. So I think that would be nice to calm down a little bit and healthier for this uptrend than just shooting straight up to the short reload zones where people might be interested in letting go of Bitcoin up there. Like people meaning like smart money and institutional money and stuff like that. In fact, just into this NFT NFT Bitcoin ETF. I can't keep track of all these damn acronyms. Heading into this ETF to see Bitcoin up in a short reload zone, that's not what we really. If you're a bull, you don't want to see this rip straight up into that. God, I almost said it again. ETF announcement. So maybe we could actually dip before that ETF announcement. That would be kind of better. Anyway, that's all Bitcoin. Nothing's really changed. We got 5 more coins to go through from our plan, as always, with Paul, and we have some doubles to report off of that plan this week too. So hopefully people that are following along banged out doubles. I'll let Paul announce them if he'd like. And thanks Miku for handling it. And Miku's always posting that stuff in the general chat of our Discord. So of course you can, if you want to follow, I mean, it's kind of getting a little late to follow along in this plan. Well, I don't want to see that. There's still going to be opportunities in this plan, but hopefully you've already been following along if that's your thing. But if you're brand new to crypto, then it's still a good idea to just get into our Discord. You can find us at cryptotradersarena.com, join our Discord, and in that, in the general channel, Miku's updating people on this plan, but really we also have a channel dedicated to this Road to Financial Freedom plan. With a complete spreadsheet showing all the levels, everything we've done, everything we're working as far as bids and sells. And you can also copy that spreadsheet if you want and erase everything and use it for yourself. It's a very handy spreadsheet just to track this kind of investment process with altcoins. It pulls in all the price data for basically the whole market. It's a nice little tool that Miku and his teammates have made. So thank you again for that, as always. I think you could probably find like a welcome video, an introduction video on how to use that in there too and stuff like that. So if you're interested in that, just find it in the Discord. Feel free to reach out and ask anybody if you can't find it. But we'll get to that in a minute. I'll probably just, I suppose before that, really quick, I just want to point out a couple things. I mean, we can look at Ethereum really quick too and just kind of see where it's at and its kind of move into the dump chaser zone. So Ethereum actually got 38.2 rejected so far and then came back down into support already and bounced. And I remember when price was sitting right there, I was making a video earlier in the week just reminding everybody that's not a type of place you want to get too heavy on the short side. You know, like maybe if you're hunting shorts up at the 38.2 level on lower time frames, okay, fine. But once we were coming down into this range high here, that's a horrible place to be going short, I would say. And you can see how we did at least have some sort of bounce after that. And so now we're just kind of ping-ponging inside of 38.2 in that range high. And so as long as we're outside of the range, I'd say that Ethereum has broken out, right? We've kind of made this giant W here and broken out, and now we're above the range. So probably suggests that the whole 38.2 to 50% level kind of dump chaser zone needs to be tested, much like Bitcoin already went through and much like we watched the DXY go through and M out and fail. So let's just watch Ethereum for that. But, you know, it's also not really broken yet. Our size barely touched over bot and OBV's pointing up. So we'll see what happens. It might, you know, any sideways consolidation here, probably good chance it's going to break higher up into the orange box. We'll see what happens. And then just to mention the DXY really quick, I think is a great example of an M in the dump chaser zone. And you can see what happened on the other side, ripped down to Mountain Man, bounced a bit, came back deeper into the reload zone. It looks like we're in a medium-term downtrend now, making, you know, lower highs and lower lows. Probably expect this reload zone to be explored a little bit more, which gives sort of gas to the risk on market still, I think, as long as this thing's kind of pointing down here and trying to figure out where it's going to bottom. Probably have some uppiness in the market still. And you can see how RSI is broken and pointing down, but it's got a lot more room to just drift down. It's already checked the 50 line here and got rejected again and put in a new M. So DXY hasn't bottomed yet here. So that's going to generally keep risk on markets happy, I'd say. So, but it looks like we're now in a range here. Have to see if we find a bottom here, and then losing that range, kind of the opposite of Bitcoin. We're starting to establish a macro downtrend here, right? Because you basically have this strong down move and then a lower high in the dump chaser zone with an M, which sort of suggests someday down here, I would say, would be, you know, there's going to be a bottom probably in the green box. Or at least this entire range starts being tested down at the lower half of that range. So I don't know if that's what we're in store for. I think it's early to call that for sure, but I think the takeaway with the DXY is just to see if it can W out here in this little range and see if we have a range low here and, you know, we're going to find support down in the range lows. And if that happens, maybe we see the risk markets cool off a bit then, and sort of it all kind of makes sense when you put the pieces together and look at like the SPY, S&P 500 testing the all-time highs. And so it's like we're all the way up here. It seems pretty likely they're going to at least bare minimum FU this high, like probably at least take it out, and then maybe roll it over, or maybe this thing keeps trending higher. But you know, while the DXY is coming down into long reload zones, this is actually going to take a run at the all-time highs. So we'll just have to wait and see. Like if weakness comes in here and strength comes in the dollar, that could signify that this ES is actually, well, S&P I should say, is actually in a range now, big wide range, and we might have to explore back in the range here. Which I always think of Stanley Druckenmiller, famous trader. He says that the stock market is going to range for 10 years. That's what he says. So what if I was thinking this the other day, what if for 10 years we were just ranging, maybe even down to the COVID low, but what if this was range highs and we actually spent 10 years banging around in here? That's what he thinks is going to happen. I don't know where he thinks the top is, but I always find that interesting that guy's been saying that for a while. He thinks the stock market will be relatively flat for 10 years. Now, of course, flat can still produce sort of mini bull markets and plenty of opportunities. And who knows, maybe the stock market goes flat and everybody gets bored of it and goes to crypto. Who knows? See people chatting away here, but I mean, I'm basically done with my spiel. Well, I don't want to talk about the stock market too much, but just interesting level coming up against the old highs. We'll have to see what happens there. And I would look for things like breakouts on low volume, look for breakouts with closes back inside the range. Things like that aren't going to be great signs for the bull here, but in general, still just pointing straight up and has plenty of room in the indicators to keep pushing higher. And same with the NASDAQ. I mean, it's getting a little closer here. I mean, when you're looking at that, are they going to at least, it's not like they're going to turn it around right here. Maybe they do, but I'm sure they'll at least sucker a few more breakout buyers in. So only bigger, broader point to this is it's funny how it all kind of works together. You see the dollar coming down into a reload zone, no W's yet, and then you see this ripping up to a pretty important location with no M's yet. So we're just kind of sitting and waiting as a weekly chart kind of person. We're just kind of waiting here can't really be a buyer of the NASDAQ at this level, I'd say. And you can't really be a seller too. I don't think this is the time to really get too bearish right there. Let's let it test the highs first. David's saying he started talking crypto with 2 new people. Top must be in. Well, we might be getting into like a local top kind of area. So, which is what Stefan was saying right under that. So yeah, you start hearing a couple people talking about crypto. Maybe it's getting a little bit too frothy at the moment. And it'd be interesting to just see people's opinions in general. I don't particularly see the public involved in this rally even. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just feel like it's just all the crypto heads that are involved right now. I don't really feel like there's too many like new people piling in. Maybe I'm wrong. It'd be interesting to figure out a way to really gauge that sentiment better. Like I'm sure like fear and greed kind of indicators are pushing way into the greed right now, but I don't know if that really kind of gets into public sentiment and stuff. So if anybody, that'd be cool. Like, in fact, just a reminder that I made an interview with the guy from the Protectorate Protocol this week. OX Omnia was his name. And he talked about their NFT liquidity project and it's a PRTC is the coin. And go back and watch all that videos. Go back and watch that video if you're interested. But he made an interesting point about just kind of like how NFTs are sort of the sentiment indicator of like if you're trying to get a hold on sort of like the vibe of the market, like NFTs are an interesting place where you see like public piling in because they're not sort of trading specific. And they also kind of, like I interpret that as like celebrities get involved and make an NFT or, it's just a good gauge of whether the public, I don't know if that was his point exactly, but I see it as a good gauge of sentiment of like, what are NFTs doing? Is there a lot of hype behind them in the general media right now? I remember last cycle, like Bored Apes definitely started making its way into like mainstream media and other things too. But that's an interesting way of looking at sentiment, I guess, through the NFT market. Anyhow, go back and watch that interview. I'd love to hear people's thoughts about it if they found it good. And then we're also going to be doing more of those. So we have another one on deck. It's not confirmed yet, but I think probably once or twice a month, we're going to try to just have a chat with like an up and coming project, whether it's a developer or somebody from the project, just to sort of talk about the technical side of it. Not so much the trading necessarily. We'll probably always pull up the chart and just kind of see where it's at. And certainly I'm looking to potentially buy these names that people come and talk about. But we're also going to just give them an opportunity to teach us what their project's doing so that we can just kind of become more informed. So keep an eye out for those. And yeah, Stefan's saying Google Trend. We can always look at like Bitcoin searches on Google Trend. That's pretty good. I think I saw one of those recently and looked like it was kind of breaking out as you'd expect. Anyway, I think that's about all I have to add. I don't, Paul's going to get into the actual altcoins we're hunting. I have some requests for after that. I suppose I could take a minute to remind everybody that we are getting closer to starting our Capio 1 program. So if you're interested in taking that program, which is, teaching people how to basically get to at least a swing traders kind of level in terms of trading. And we're starting that at the beginning of the year sometime. So running out of time if you want to take advantage of that. So feel free to reach out to me if you're interested in that. And of course, I'm happy to answer any questions you have. So you can just find me on Discord and hit me up if you want to join up. And of course, we're also going to launch our Capua 2 program, which is more like day trading with Stefan, scalping. So that's actually coming down the pike in terms of stuff that we're working on. Already have some people interested in that. That's kind of you can't jump right into that. That's scalping. It's sort of, you need to be an experienced trader already to get in there. But we do have that, so I don't know when that's going to start specifically, but it's coming up. I don't think we have an exact day. And Ahmad saying, "Hi, sir. I'm your new subscriber." Oh, cool. Thanks. Welcome. So I don't know. How'd you find us? Nice to see a new person. We do have like sort of a solid community of diehards that are always here, and thank you all for joining us basically for this show and other things we do. And then of course every Monday through Friday we trade live in the New York session and a couple others sometimes in the London session as well. And so if you're a premium member, you're probably hanging out around a lot. But even just our kind of YouTube people, there's a solid core group of people that are here every day. So of course consistency is the key to all this. So hopefully you guys are doing pretty good right now, and hopefully you were around buying altcoins when they were cheaper than they are right now. Miku's saying diehards or tryhards. Oh, that's a good question. But anyway, welcome, Ahmad, and feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions, or of course, join up on our Discord, and then you have access to basically everything we do, and we try to post trade ideas in there, mostly from like a longer term perspective. If you want to get into sort of swing trading and day trading and scalping, kind of more of that actions on the premium side, and then in the general chat we stick to more like slowed down investments. But still try to throw some ideas here and there. And I've actually this weekend, most of the action's been in our new DGen channel. I think Carol got everybody excited about DGen and into shitcoins. So of course, like the meme coin market's ripping right now. And of course, the more that thing rips, like the more that sort of those meme coins go, the closer we are probably to a local top, I suppose. The more huge moves you're seeing on these like dog coins and all that stuff. But we were all hanging out in the DGen room all weekend, seeing if we could buy some shit coins. I did bang out a double on one K-pop, which we could, maybe I'll look at those things on Tuesday as I make another crypto show on Tuesdays. But today we'll stick to the sort of the bigger market cap coins from our plan. So I think with that said, I should check in on my co-host. I didn't even introduce him, but are you here with me today, Paul?
Yep.
Maybe. Hey,
I'm just watching.
Oh, that's cool. I'm just sitting here rambling away.
Well, I'm looking at shitcoins anyway, so
cool. Well, I mean, I don't.
for tomorrow.
Yeah. Are you looking at shitcoins on chain or shitcoins on Binance?
Well, now I'm focusing on Binance. I'll show you immediately why.
All right. Well, yeah. Let's look at your screen and start transitioning over to your part of the.
Well, I'll start as usual with the Road to Financial Freedom plan, and we can go on shitcoins after that.
Okay. Well, I got your Wi-Fi chart up right now.
Well, nice. So the plan is the same. Yeah, we didn't change the plan. We have it here. Pretty simple and clear. We are still in this level of the plan. Yeah, 2022, 2023, using little old lady risk management strategy just to get free coins. Yeah, we are still in the same environment. Even it's not the best time now to buy them. Now is the best time to check your limit orders and see if you have your order to get some free coins. So that being said, you have the spreadsheet. You can make a copy. You have access on Discord on the channel where we have everything about this plan. You just come on our Discord, join, ask to be verified, and you'll have access on this channel. And you can do whatever you want. Follow this plan, make a copy, do your own plan. It's totally up to you. Now, let's go on the actual coins. And we left it at FAT, and we should start with the YFI. So on YFI, We had a sell half on a double already. You can see it here. And we are trying to reload at the same level. Yeah. I don't think it's will make a difference if we'll put it lower. Maybe yes, maybe no. It's up to you. But my buying level will be at the same like we bought first time. This is my level where I want to buy again. Now, to do something else, I don't think is the case. I'm not selling another double. I'm not doing anything else. I got some free coins. That's good. From now on, I'll just wait to see if I could get another limit order field. And then I could reload again and repeat this process over and over again until the market will say, okay, enough, it's enough. Let's go up. And you can see indicators, well, not the best ones, not the worst ones. I'm okay with keeping this limit order here. So on this one, we have some free coins. That's really nice. We'll reload here if we'll get the opportunity, and nothing more than that for the moment at least. So this is YFI. Next one on our list is Gala. Let's see Gala. Where is Gala here? Well, you can see overall picture where we are on Gala. I don't know if this one will go to the retest the all-time highs. I don't care about that. What I really want is to get my feel and get my free coins. After that, even 50% it's enough to make some money. Well, let's zoom in a little bit and let's see what we have. Well, we bought at this level. We made a lower low here, and you can see we are above the level and waiting to get a shot. I don't consider this one the weekly W. It's not good enough for me. You can see this one is the lowest low, and I don't like that. Probably will make a bigger W, but for the moment, nothing to do for my in my view. We have the short level here. Let's wait. When the market will top out, I'll draw my long relow zone, and then I'll hunt at 78.6, and maybe even I don't know, hunting that big weekly double. I'll prefer to see this sell half on a double field first, so I'll have 1% to reload because I'm allowed to buy 1% on each and every coin, and if the market will give me a short here, I'll recover 0.5, so I'll have 1 full percent to buy lower. I like this project. You saw the overview. I'm okay with buying. Yeah, it's an old shit coin, but in this plan, we'll put new and old shit coins together, and we'll try to get many as we can for free. Well, nothing to do on this one. When the pump will be over, I'll draw my long reload zone and I'll wait in the long reload zone, probably 78.6 for an eventual W. Now, just check if you have the order in the market. Next one, it's Kusama, I guess. Well, same kind of thinking on this one. You can see where we bought. Yeah, we got a lot lower than that. I'm okay with waiting on this one for a shot or to make a big wide W to put at work another 0.5. For the moment, nothing to do. Just checking if I have the limit order here. It's that simple. Nothing to do. The indicators here, well, if we'll zoom out enough, they are okay. I don't have any problem with this one. Not the best, not the worst, but you can see this one could be that weekly W. I don't think it's the best one, and I think we'll form a range actually. You can see this is the low. This was a fake out. Yeah? Low, high, and we can range in this area until the market will say, well, enough, it's enough, let's go up. Until then, we can range in this area. If we'll buy lower and sell half on a double, maybe if we're lucky, we'll get some weeks to test these levels and we can get some fills. Well, nice. But at this point in time, nothing to do on this one. The next one, it's one. Well, let's see what we have on this. You can see going sideways. At least we have that consolidation channel kind of idea. Let's see what if we'll zoom in, let's see what we have. Same kind of thinking like on the last ones. You can take this one for a weekly W, but it's ugly, and I don't think is the case. Same kind of thinking, we are starting to go sideways. Now, at least we are going sideways, we are not going straight down. What we have here is just a dead cat bounce for the moment, is just playing the range game here. We can get a shot pretty easily, it's not a big deal to test the highs, and we'll reload after that. I don't see that big weekly W for the moment to, okay, let's buy another 0.5. We have 0.5. If the market is, I don't know, slightly bullish, we should get a feel here. At this point in time, nothing to do. Just, again, check if you have the order in the market. And the last one is sushi. I have sushi here or I don't have it? Well, I have sushi. As you can see, on sushi, we have the same kind of thinking. We bought here, we had a limit order down below, and you can see what happened. Well, not today, not this year at least. They just pumped above our level. That was the ultimate low from Binance chart at least, and you can see they front run it a little bit that level. And then pumped nice kind of big W here, but still I don't trust this W. I don't consider this one big weekly W. I can still see going sideways, but we are above $1 level where we bought 0.5%. We are at 1.2, we can get a shot really easy to test this high. And then we can reload. Then you can see I have the long reload zone already prepared. I'll just drag the long reload zone all the way up until this pump will be over, and I'll wait at 78.6. It's that simple. I like for this plan to keep things simple and easy to execute. I want everyone from this community to be able to make some money with this plan. So I'll keep it simple and easy to execute. That doesn't mean a day trader will be more profitable. No, this plan could be the most profitable we have, even if it's simple, because it will be easy to execute, easy to bear and wait until the top, because we have a clear plan where we can sell our coins. P cycle top. We are not allowed to sell earlier than that. If we respect the plan, maybe you can make some nice money. Percental wise thinking, I don't know. Each and everyone has, I don't know, different amounts of money in this plan. Like I said, we are not financial advisors. So if you decide to follow this plan, it's 100% your responsibility. Yeah, I'm just telling you what I'm doing with my own money. Kevin, the same. We are telling you what we are doing with our own money. Well, that was the last one. Now, let me show you what you can learn in Capua 1. If you are curious, I could show you that. So, you can learn something like this on 15-minute chart, 1-hour chart. Well, I bought this trade Thursday, I guess, in the New York live stream. And I even asked people who is with me in this trade. I guess 1 or 2 people said, okay, I'm in. Well, I had a hard take profit at 10 risk to reward. And they took me out here. But overall, they pumped it even more than that. Let's see how high they managed to get this one. Well, 16-1. Well, that's nice. I'm out 100% at this level. I'll reload. I could enter again, but if I'm risking 0.5% or 1% in one trade, then I got 10% from my trading account. It's good enough for one trade. It's the same thing when you buy with 1% on-chain, altcoin or shitcoin, and you will do a 10x. Same kind of thinking. Here I have more control, and I have specific rules on Binance and on TradingView I could play around. But that's what you can learn. One of the setup is the Holy Grail setup. You'll have permanent access on this indicator. and I will try to teach you how to execute with this algorithm. Nice and easy. That doesn't mean every one of these the trades I have, they are in profit. But one trade like this will cover 10 losses. No? So let's look at more than that. Well, I have this one, it's still working away because I didn't move my stop loss. I don't until I'll get higher. But this one hit my stop loss. No big deal. Next bus. Phantom. Well, same kind of idea. Huh? You can see hit my stop loss. Next bus. This one is still in play. Well, look at here. We have another 10R. Well, with two trades, with 10 risk to reward, I don't have to worry about the losses I have here, honestly. So 10 with 10, 20 stop losses in a row, and I'll still be break even. My method in this kind of bull mode, let's not say bull market, let's say bull mode, it's to, if I'm not watching the market, I'll put a hard take profit at 10R. Sorry, 1 second. So that's my method. You can learn these things in Capua 1. One of the setups is Holy Grail. You'll learn a lot more than that. You will trade in the last month, you'll trade with us 1 full month. So any trade you'll take and you'll put in your journal, Kevin or I will check that trade if it's respecting the condition, if it's respecting your plan, and so on. So for that money, I think it's a really good deal. Don't wait until the top of the bull market. Usually that's the drill. Everyone is making some money in the top of the bull market. Okay, let's learn some trading. We'll spend the money, but we'll not pay enough attention to learn. And then we'll have to start all over again. Be smart and make it before you are forced and you'll see the top of the bull market. Swing trading, in my opinion, if you are a regular guy, swing trading could be the most profitable kind of trading. Day trading, it's a bit too much for your heart. Position trading, it's a bit too boring. Well, swing trading is kind of a sweet spot where anyone could, if you put the time and effort, could become a good trader. But without putting time and effort to learn, it's not easy to swing trade. It's not, I don't know, something you can learn in 1 month or 2 months. And you can learn it by yourself, but will take at least 5 times more time and effort if you are doing alone. It's up to you. Well, that's about Holy Grail. Any premium member has access on this indicator. I didn't make a tutorial, but you have explanation in the description of the indicator so you can see how it's working. Now, we spoke about the trades. We spoke about the plan. Next year, I guess we'll go with 10 projects every Sunday. Why? I want to review them more often. Now, the window of opportunity is slowly closing, and I want to review them more often. So until the end of the year, okay. I don't know if we'll have too many live streams. I guess the next one it's exactly in the holidays, and the next one after that the same. We'll announce in the Discord when we'll do the next one, if we'll do it next Sunday or not. But after the beginning of the year, we'll take 10 projects and we'll take a look. If we'll have a dip, we'll take a look at the new projects. We still have some room here to add more. Yeah, we can add more projects here. The strong ones, new ones, something we saw that it's really worth the time and effort to add it on this plan. So next year, at least in the first half before the halvening, we'll probably add more projects. And I think 10 projects every Sunday, it's okay to do. Yeah, we started also Capua 2. But this time, let's say already profitable swing traders, they could get in straight in Capua 2. After that, after this program, we'll have a procedure Capua 1 and then Capua 2. So you'll have to go through Capua 1 to get in the Capua 2. I cannot work with somebody in Capua 2, day trading day in, day out, yeah, because it's like a boot camp, trading every day, with someone that doesn't know the process, doesn't know how to journalize, doesn't know how to log a trade, doesn't have the capacity to respect the setup. You cannot day trade. Will slow me down too much, and no amount of money will recover that. My income comes from day trading, so I have to be able to do the program and day trade in the same time. Well, if we have good traders that want to learn more about, I don't know, day trading, scalping, you are welcome to DM Stefan for that. Well, I think that's it from my part with the road to financial freedom. I showed you what you can do in good environments when you have uptrends. You actually have to have an uptrend, a trend. Doesn't matter, it's up or down. And you can see, look where the uptrend started. And here, if you are greedy goblin and you don't put your stop loss one step below, will stop you out. Usually I recommend when it's high volatility to put your stop loss one step below green line. So let's see if this one wants to give us another signal. Now I'm out at 10R. I think we can enter again if our Holy Grail will give us a new signal. But that's a really nice way to chase a micro trend or a trend. In a bull market, I know it's not okay to chase, and me, Kevin, and good traders will tell you don't chase, don't chase, don't chase. But in a strong bull market, you have to adapt and you have to chase. That doesn't mean you'll buy the top here. No, but a slight, you'll anticipate the trend, and any retracement, it's a buying opportunity. And you need a good tool to give you a frame for that. Well, we have Holy Grail. Maybe there are other tools for chasing the market better than this, but that's what we have, and it's a bonus for premium membership. Well, what do you say, Kevin? We'll do the giveaway. DMAC is here.
Yeah, sure. Got the giveaway prepared here. Let me find it.
Well, if you switch from my screen, I could go on YouTube myself to see where we are.
Yeah, your screen's gone. Got the old wheel of names set up here. Looks like I got 18 people that retweeted.
Yeah, that's nice.
So, and I'll spin this wheel here in a minute. I don't know if Paul already mentioned, but yeah, you know, if you win this giveaway, it's either a premium membership for a month, or you could have a one-on-one with one of us.
If you are already a premium membership, you can choose to take one-to-one with me, Stefan, or Kevin. But only if you are already a premium membership. If not, the giveaway is for 1 month premium membership.
Yeah, and we just do this every week for fun. So wish everybody the best of luck.
You
And I'll
need
just...
my ugly drum, or you don't like it anymore?
You can do your drum if you want.
Well, I'll do it. I don't know. My desk is a bit too hard for a drum.
Okay, here we go. Let's see what happens here.
Keep in mind, I'm 5 seconds behind you on YouTube.
All right, well, we have a winner. Christian. Or Christian, whichever it is.
Well, congrats. DM me on Discord. Yeah, I guess it's Christian who joined me in the alpha trade. It's the same Christian. I guess so. I don't know for sure, but Christian, please DM me in Discord to give you premium membership, or if you are already a premium member, one-to-one with one of us. If it's the same Christian, he already has one-to-one with you, and he didn't book it yet.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Remove lease. I don't know what that means. Well, cool. There's another giveaway. DMAC didn't win.
DMAC
Sorry,
didn't
buddy.
want. Sorry, DMAC. Next time. Maybe you should join premium and then you'll win and you'll have a lot of one-to-one with me and Kevin. Well,
Yeah, good to see you, DMAC. Another regular though.
please.
Yeah.
We have any requests?
Somebody asked me to look at H bar. We can look at, and then I don't know. There might be some
Yeah.
others in my message. I suppose
Well,
I could.
I'll. In meantime, I'll post on Discord people to prepare the requests, and even here you can post in the chat if you have any requests. Let's try to keep it on daily and weekly chart. Don't request a 50-minute chart with Holy Grail or something like that. This show it's about position trading, investing kind of thing.
Yeah, and H bar we've talked about. I think even relatively recently. I mean, it's set up. It's just a question of do you get another buy opportunity here, which I think you probably will. Very nice looking chart though. I mean, very simply, it came all the way back down against the old W breakout from last cycle. And it's funny how that's where they put the bottom in, which just, if anything, just note how common this is when you look through these charts. You know, you can see a nice little double bottom breakout that started the last bull run. And it's probably even like right in the middle of a reload zone if you were to have drawn your fibs here. It's a little higher, but basically, you know, the W came in right around 61.8 fib. And had dips into the reload zone there. And this is actually kind of weird price action anyway. So I could have seen how hunting lower might have left you behind in this case, but nonetheless, had a couple weeks to buy the W breakout. But now in the future, or now in the present, I should say, you know, it's not uncommon for these things to come all the way back down against that W, which makes that a nice level to be a buyer at. So of course, anybody that bought H bar right there, just going, you know, just being happy to hit the old W level, then they got rewarded already. Probably banged out doubles here. It looks like, yeah. And then also got an opportunity to buy back their positions as it came back down in the reload zones again. Now, all that trading would have just been like levels hunting, didn't really have like a market structure bottom to work with. You're just kind of buying against this old, I mean, you have this market structure to work with going all the way back to last cycle. So a little riskier to just be in there hitting those levels, but you can see how it worked. But now we actually have just a nice wide W, and actually I think this would be called an Adam and Eve because you have Adam and Eve bottom, pretty common price pattern. I mean, I talk about this a lot, how I like to trade the Eve part of the bottom somewhere in here, and I don't really, I'm not really trying to catch this V bottom that seems to come in a lot of the time. You'll see like, you know, you see like a panic or just sort of brutal bear market turn around and go the other way out of nowhere and form a range here. And then once that range is established, you can start hunting against the bottom of the range, which is a very great way to do this. I can't stress enough how that simple strategy alone can produce really nice investment trades. And then now more currently, yeah, we worked our way down all the way to 88.6. Actually, you could have, you know, been a buyer there, just hitting that 88.6 level or anywhere in that green box, truthfully. But slowly but surely, you started seeing the W's come in. And I remember this specifically because these kind of awkward looking W's came in June and July, where they were like a little bit steep, but they did break out and they did offer more retests to buy. And I think that was reasonable to once that little W came in, this trade was on, in my opinion, because we had, you know, me specifically, I'm always looking for OBV divergences and just kind of ignoring RSI right here for the moment. You can just see how, you know, as that range got established and we started coming back down against the range and made a new low here, you can see how OBV had turned. And so that's like the point where I got interested, you know, basically as that W broke out through here at the same time as that W in price. I think that's when the trade was on. And at that point, anywhere below 59.059, I think was a reasonable place to be a buyer. And even just hitting that level, which I did. I don't have my exact trade on here, but I think I, Mr. H bar. Yeah, you can see how, you know, I did exactly what I was just saying. Let that W break out and bought it there. And now I have my average cost at 58 and I'm looking to sell on a double here up at 11. And I think I have a good chance of getting that. But where does that leave us now? It's just I think the trade's on, by the way. Like I think I already said that, but I think this thing has a reasonable chance of being bottom now. This is exactly everything I want to see in an altcoin bottom. It's basically got all the characteristics. So now it's just a question of how aggressive you are. We do have a wider W here, and I don't love that idea of buying that W because you are chasing a bit. But at the same time, like you could see the big wide W confirming, and it'd be nice to see this week just kind of stay right here and close above that level. And that's a nice extra bit of confirmation of a really strong, like long-term bottom. And sure, to be fair, if you bought 76 cents right there, or sorry, 0.76 cents, I should say, then of course, you only need a move to less than 38.2 of the range to get a double. So I had highlighted this low here as like a key low, and that's at 13 cents. So you could practically bang a double out just on that move. Not quite. And I do think the chances of hitting this red line up here is really high. And I think the chances of going higher down the road are very high, or reasonably high. So yeah, the trade's on. It's just a question of where you get an entry. And I think the sniper approach is always, of course, you can see this green box is still active because that's the low and that's the range high. So I just prefer to leave my fibs right here. You could, I suppose, drag your fibs to one of these lows and hunt a little bit more aggressively. Me personally, I think that's a good reload zone to keep working with, especially because this first weekly W was in the reload zone. But point being, I think buying back down at this 0589 or so level is kind of ideal to me. And like I was saying earlier about pullbacks and stuff, I think if the market can roll over here for a bit, then I think, or like when I mean the market, I guess if Bitcoin can actually dip a little bit, I think the chances of being able to buy this level again into the future are pretty high. Like there's a pretty good chance they'll retest that. This is a bit straight uppy, here of late. It's kind of running out of gas a little bit. It doesn't mean it's topped out yet, but you can see RSI getting a little bit overbought. Maybe if we go to a daily chart, you probably start seeing, like there's a 3-bar fractal top here. So it's kind of running out of steam, but it hasn't like fully broken. In fact, RSI wasn't in divergence and OBV has not broken at all yet. So you don't really have like a strong sign of a structural break here, but there is a 3-bar top. And keep in mind, you're also in a short reload zone off of the range that's now been established. So like, we can start, it's not unreasonable to think that this thing, if it's not ready to rip yet and make new highs, then this is the kind of area where we would expect it to run out of steam. So this is why I don't like buying it right here, because we're basically range bound at the moment up to 10 cents. And so I like the idea of hunting down here for sure. And whether I'd be stepping it and shorting right here, that's not really my style at the moment. I'm not too interested in shorting altcoins that are, sure, it's in a short reload zone of the range, but is location really that good when you zoom out? So be careful shorting H-bar right here in an uppy market. I mean, God, look at all the upside here. I mean, to be fair, I'm long from 6 cents, and I think that 60 cents is a new high. So like 10Xs are sort of like hitting the old highs. And I think that's very possible. I'm not saying it's going to happen for sure, but I think that it's damn possible. Of course, this is why we like to get free positions. So hopefully you can see the logic of just, if I can put my position on here and sell half on a double here on a move, not even back to that key low that I've sort of highlighted. And there's just like a fair value gap, open air kind of volume gap all the way. I mean, it's not huge, but at least that area right there, which is right around my double level, I see that as being a place where it's sort of a magnet, right? If price can start ripping towards that, it's probably going to have to hit it. And so that's going to give me a double. And then I can just sit back and wait until these kind of prices. I've got my original capital back. Sure, if it comes back down into reload zones, I can consider adding, especially if I already got a double. That was sort of what Paul was saying about our plan earlier. If we put 1% in a name down here, sell it on a double, then we've got our 1% back, we've got our capital back to go and either buy this one again, which is what we call like a second car, or buy a different coin. And so hopefully you can see how by doing that, you could start with the plan that says something like, I'm going to buy 100 coins with 1% each. And by the end of it, you might have more than 100 coins. So anyway, HBAR gets a huge thumbs up for me. A perfect looking chart. It's just a question of whether you're going to chase it here or be patient. And I can't tell you what to do. I think it's wise to try to be patient if you're not already long. What else we got? Nice looking chart though, by the way, man. I mean, you can't find a nicer. This is about as nice as looking bottom as you can find, to be honest. Damn nice looking charts. And this is sort of the state of crypto. Remember, I was saying at the beginning, I don't think we're in a peak euphoric situation here. And I hope you can at least just look at this chart and just say, even buying it right here, if I'm patient enough, do I have a chance at maybe selling even the 50% level where Bitcoin ran up into? It's not uncommon to see the 50% level touched. That's 30 cents. So yeah, you can buy it at 7 or 8 cents and sell it at 30. That's not even peak euphoria kind of. That's just back to the middle of the range. So when prices back up here making new highs, we can start thinking about those kind of conversations. Right now it's like this shit's just getting started. It's just, this is just that's a fucking nice looking chart, man. What else can I talk about? Ape, FTM, and actually FTM, that's cool. We'll look at that in a second, and then I'll talk about what I was thinking about there. But first, I'll look at Ape really quick. That's next on the list. And I don't know what I was last time we were looking at this. I guess I had, I don't know. I was kind of probably saying sort of a similar conversation here. And I think, this is just a guess. Like, I have no idea. And I was just basically saying, like, this kind of V bottomy probably. Like, I think with Ape, they basically just took the lows here for a second. The Binance Open was right at $1, huge number. I'm pretty sure Paul highlighted that number, and the Road to Financial Freedom plan got long off of that, if I remember correctly. And I know I was in there buying too. However, this isn't the kind of bottom like that H-bar chart, right? This is just the beginnings of that V bottom that I talk about. And so I was basically drawing the same thing. Let's let a top come in and then hunt the pullback on that top once the range is established. So very different chart than H-bar. It's way earlier in the bottom. And I even use this trend line as a way of just demonstrating how it's not quite ready to go into an uptrend yet. Like, any moves against that trend line are actually resistance. And not sure what this low I had highlighted, but I think it still applies. Like, basically you can kind of see how resistance is up against the trend line. So let's just be patient with Ape. If you don't already have it, I don't really see a point in chasing it right here. It's not up too much. It's up it's up a good 40% off the lows or so. But I think my drawing here makes sense. And I even drew OBV here. So, just comparing this to the H-bar chart, you can see how we need this. Like, you can see the beginnings of this happening, but it's going to take price running up, topping out, coming back down, and then looking for the divergences on that down move here, kind of where I have it drawn already, and then waiting for W's here. And if you want to be really conservative, you could even wait for W's all the way on the other side of this trend line. I don't think that trend line's that important, to be honest, but it was just used to kind of highlight the fact that we're making lower highs and lower lows still. In fact, we even made a lower low, even though it was like an FU at the moment. Technically, we made a new low. So let's just be patient on something like this. And honestly, trying to focus on things like that H-bar chart that's already been through this Adam and Eve process. So, but it's all right. Let's just wait. I think there's better things to buy, to focus on. And again, remember, my whole thing is like, I'd rather focus on things that I've already put in the bottoms now. So like something like that H-bar, again, that's already already put in a W. And now I can buy the hopefully what becomes strong support now. So I way like the idea of buying a pullback on H-bar here as opposed to Ape. That's just me. FTM, and I was thinking about FTM, and it seems like people are talking about it being a potential place for the next like sort of on-chain trading kind of cycle. Like, it seems like Solana, and so I was thinking in my head today that I don't have time to do it right now, but I was going to pull up FTM, AVAX, Solana, and what was the other one? Oh, I don't know, Arbitrum. and just kind of look at all those coins for myself. I just want to see where they're all at in their locations and see which ones have the most room to continue running up. And I feel like Phantom actually still has a lot of room to to actually keep going higher here. But I was just kind of being mindful of the fact that these sort of the DeFi wave is kind of moving. It's like Solana's gotten exploited pretty heavily lately, and I keep hearing people saying that Phantom is going to be the next spot. I don't know if that's true. I'm not the best person to make that call. It's just something I've heard a couple times and wanted to sort of look more into. But what I will say is, so like, just maybe we'll compare Phantom to Ethereum and just say like, which one has more upside potential? I mean, clearly Ethereum still has lots of upside potential, but remember it hit 38.2 already. So like it got rejected at 38.2 at the moment, whereas Phantom is not anywhere near. Let's see, where's the lows here? It looks like we did make new, where's the actual low on Phantom? I guess it is actually the left side. Let's see. That's 1707, and back here was 16. Yeah, so the lows are actually back here, which is good. You can kind of see that Adam and Eve bottom that I was talking about, but the Eve is not really a great looking W. So I mean, they did put in the Adam side, establish the top of the range here up at 65, and then took it all the way back down to the lows. So clearly being a buyer against the lows, that's never the worst idea. Like I can't fault anybody for saying, you know what, like I'm going to just go and buy it right here against the old lows and hope for the best. And clearly you can see that worked out. You've already banged out a double here. But in terms of an actual W bottom, it's pretty ugly. So makes me think that we probably need to test these levels again. You can kind of see the open air in here. The same kind of idea. Price blasted through here so fast that it left kind of gaps in the volume. If you were to take like volume profiles, you'll see that. Like I don't know, we could probably pull up a fixed range here and just like if we even just took it from here to there, you can see that's not the best. I mean, you can see the weak volume in here, but it's probably need to go back a little farther to actually see it more. Of course, now my example's not really showing up. I'm not sure where to draw that from specifically. I kind of like just actually drawing that range is what I'm trying to see. Oh wait, what did I do here? Okay. Now I just deleted it all together. This is the problem is I wonder how often I just sound like a complete fucking idiot trying to do this. Probably a lot. Good thing is I don't really care that much. I mean, point being, you can at least see the lower volume nodes in here as we get below that low. So all I'm really trying to say is people call that a fair value gap. There's just not a lot of business was done there. So it suggests probably could come back and test that later. And of course, drawing like fib levels off, we have V bottom here. So not really a weekly W. So that just kind of shows me there's still potential weakness as price comes down into that level. Like I'm not expecting the bounce I would expect from a nice solid W, but I don't think Phantom, I think it's going to be a plenty big story going forward. And I think whether or not to buy Phantom is, I mean, I'm happy to I think, oh yeah, go for it. I'm already long. However, I don't want to buy right here. So I think drawing fibs, wherever this top comes in, I don't know where that's going to be. And just kind of hunting that pullback, which to me at the moment looks like it's going to be right inside those candles somewhere around 23 cents. And if you're going to, if I was going to dig a little deeper in Phantom, I mean, the funny thing is I don't really like this chart that much. It's not as clean as like that H-bar chart again, for example. But when I look at OBV, I actually see like M's, like basically M'd out and made a new low, actually took out this low. So technically OBV is still just kind of like trending down. We haven't made a new high in OBV yet. And we don't really have like great W's. So funny enough, it's not really like a very good looking bottom. I think there's a lot of momentum behind the project and then with a generally uppy market, it's not a surprise to see it like doubling off the lows. But as far as going forward, I think probably best to just, let this thing top out wherever that is. And eventually you'll see some kind of M or V top or something. And then as price comes down like this, right in that area is where I look for like some sort of, W and OBV. to make that divergence. See that W come in, get back down to reload zones, and then eventually you'll see some sort of W over here, and that's the buy. I mean, that's going way out to like next. Well, I drew it out to like March 2025. Hopefully, it doesn't take that long. And if it does take that long, it probably won't come back that far. But that's sort of my general thinking about altcoins. So I would like to see that. Doesn't mean I'm gonna. But point being, I don't see reason to chase it right here. If anything, this is a big M, right? Like you see the M, big old M. Now we're coming back up into short reload zones. So it's a dangerous place to be a buyer. Like, drawn fibs there. And we could probably say that Mountain Man's likely to get hit here. So maybe the top's not quite in yet. And 47 cents is Mountain Man. You can see they almost tagged it. Let's see what happens up in here. This red box is a pretty good example of why we don't like to buy heading into that red box. Of course, you have a bunch of downside risk at that point. So let's see what happens here. So no rush on Phantom, unfortunately. Of course, they take the highs out, and this is like a big, massive W. So maybe they push it all the way up here, and then it's hard to say if it'll come back. We don't know yet. You just got to ask yourself is it a good idea to, like we were talking about chasing, or, I mean, this is so hard about, like, Paul was kind of trying to touch on that idea of like, when do you have to get more aggressive? And of course, nobody can tell you how to do that. Each person has to find their niche. Like we've got some guys in the group that are on-chain traders, and they're trading highly risky, newer assets that don't kind of put in these nice weekly W's. They don't have previous cycle lows to work against, and it kind of becomes this game of like race to get in and then race to get out sort of thing. And definitely works. It's super profitable. It's just, it's a little bit different style, but if you can practice good risk management, then you can completely build a plan that works. And you might make more money than everybody if you're able to buy that like bonk low or buy it kind of high and sell way higher. That'd be that's kind of an environment where you buy high and sell higher. It's not the kind of trading that we talk about in this show, which is more of a relaxed sort of zoom out, let the market bottom first, and then try to buy a retest of that bottom and get in at a good location. That's a different kind of trading, but the risk management rules are the same. So if you can find a way to degen your way into on-chain stuff, then the same rules as this kind of trading don't really apply except for risk management. So same kind of thing. If you can ape in with 1% of your account and take a couple losses and then bang out a 10x, just like Paul was talking about with the THG stuff earlier, it's the same exact thing. It's just the type of trading is wildly different, and it takes a different kind of personality. So we have our guys that are like degenning in that stuff. Then there's people like me that I'd say I'm more conservative, even though I'm trying to do some degening myself. In general, I like to do that setup I just explained to you with H-bar and the potential for this one, where I'm just letting these weekly bottoms come in and I'm buying against those. So it's like different, but at some point you got to figure out when you're going to pull the trigger. So like, I can't tell anybody how to do that. I could just sort of talk about what I do, and I can talk about the reasons why I do that. And then you got to just, I don't know, figure out for yourself when you're willing to chase or not. But I think we're getting more into a market where I'm going to become more aggressive, like something like Phantom. To be fair, like I like to wait for weekly W's. I've said all year that I have room in my plan for what I just call knife catching levels, just basically hitting a fib level. And I would get more into that type of trading once we were farther along in the end of the accumulation cycle and beginning of like the pre-bull market, or I mean, I think you could call what we're in right now like the pre-bull market. It could very well just turn into the bull. We don't know, but I don't think you can say it's the full-on bull yet until like Phantom is taking out that high, for example. Like once we're above that high, it's going to be a pretty bullish market, I'm guessing, when we're solidly above that. But of course, that's kind of too late to be a buyer in the kind of buying I like to do. So you have to somehow time this a little bit, right? And I think as we get into next year, something like Phantom, I'm way more likely to just say, oh, fuck it. There's no W here, but I'm going to hit the reload zone as we come back down into it and just hope for the best. That's me. And I'll get more that way as we get more into the end of the accumulation year, which is, hey, it's December Not that we can't really make exact times on any of this shit, but I mean, we're getting pretty heavily into the end of this long bottom. I mean, if anything, just zooming out on Phantom here a bit, you can see like, that was May 2022 when we sort of put in the first kind of panic low. Sure had to come and make a new low, but we're basically just in this wide range that could ultimately become. Maybe we pull back and it takes until like a few months into next year where we truly break that out. And then that's going to be just a massive W, right? There's just a big bottom. And so that's the accumulation year right there, right? It's horrible drawings. So we're getting to the end of that accumulation year. That's a perfect example right there. So running out of, so anyway, I'm getting closer to becoming like a pre-bull. I don't know. Accumulation year was the pre-bull. It's like you're still a bull. You're not like calling for everything to go to zero, but you're a cautious bull during this time, trying to let this long bottom play out. And then somewhere over here, you start becoming more, I don't know, or I'll start becoming more aggressive. I don't know. We're getting closer to the halving. Like everything seems like it's primed to go into a ripper at this point. I don't know. Like we'll see what happens after this ETF shit. And I don't know, see if we can get Bitcoin to dip at all. But I think everything's on track for this to become a real bull market down the road. So hopefully that point is made, but I probably went on too long. I got a couple more I'll try to hit really quick. XMR, I always like looking at XMR, which is sort of like nobody talks about XMR anymore. I feel like nobody cares. And I've noticed XMR just doesn't want to break out here. I mean, very simply, we're in a reload zone, right, of the range. This is the Binance USDT chart, but hopefully you can just see green boxes would be right here. So we've been just basically quietly bumping along inside of this range and definitely have weekly W's. The first weekly W broke out back in January. And actually have been just sort of dollar cost averaging through here, just sort of taking some nibbles on XMR just because I don't know, I just want to have it. I don't think it's necessarily the best thing to go and take a bet on, like in terms of upside. And I mean, it's not like a new hot name, that's for sure, but it's one that I want to own. And I think the reality is here, it's just sitting right at the breakout level. Couldn't quite break out this next W and never even really broke out the first W very strongly. I mean, it sort of broke out for a couple of weeks, came right back in the range. And it just seems to be stuck right there. So like I said, I don't think it's the best bet in crypto right now, but it's also not the worst location. And then I also would just add that there is a lot of downside risk because this kind of panic V bottom, going back to like COVID, was a new low and it sort of established a deeper dip. And so now the range is very wide. And so like there's just kind of like a V bottom with open air down here all the way to 88.6 and below, which is $80. So like it could come 50%, it could easily come down 50%. But for whatever reason, it's just been making higher lows through here and not breaking down. And if you're like wanting to buy drugs on the internet, do people still do that with XMR? I don't know. What do you use XMR for? If you're going to load up on Quaaludes, if you want to buy a nice stash of Quaaludes on the dark web with XMR, I suppose buying it right here is the worst idea. So it's a nice looking chart, but not the probably focus of my attention in general. And Loca. Call it with Loca here. We're getting on to an hour and a half, so I'll do this one and then that's nice looking chart that seems like it hasn't really taken off too much of late. So I don't know, maybe it's underperforming a little bit. It does, well, I guess it doubled. Let's see. I mean, the lows were about 17 cents and the high is 34. So yeah, basically exactly doubled. So, I mean, anybody that caught the exact low, maybe they were unloading here on a double and that's what made price back off a little bit here at the moment. I think just doing my typical analysis, I would look at this low here. I don't know what the old lows look like previous to Binance. You might pull that up on CoinMarketCap or something, but let's just assume that was the low. you can see how they politely backed it all the way down against that low, just like Ape. Although they didn't take it out like on Ape, they actually put in a W. So a little different than Ape. They actually decided to put in a little kind of ugly W, but it's there. And you can even see the retest a few weeks later where they just dipped it down against that wick that makes the W. And these kind of W's with the big wick here, you would have been fine. I mean, at this point, you could argue that it was okay to go and hit the top of that wick here on the pullback. They gave you a few weeks to do that, and then price is reacting and trying to move higher. And I don't know if you bought that 24-cent level, the double's not like out of reach here. And so not the best looking W, but it's there. OBV was just pointing down the whole time, so that would have kept me from getting too excited. I don't like that it was just making new lows here, and then it just ultimately V bottom. So I don't know. We don't really have like a nice W right there to work with, but you can see how OBV's been in divergence and pointing higher the whole time, even from like that low to these lows. We were in a bigger divergence. It's actually confirmed now, but we didn't really get the OBV divergence right there, which is where I'd really like to see it. From that low to that low, OBV made a new low too. So that suggests weakness to me. Does suggest the chances of buying the bottom of the range again are pretty good. And I don't see any reason to chase it right here. I'll just also add that you can see the M, there's an M back here. So if we just kind of drew a line off that M, that seems to be resistance at the moment. Could see price ripping up into there and then maybe getting rejected. Either way, just got to draw fibs and wait. Wherever the top comes in, I'll just be hunting 61.8 and below. And truly, for me to fulfill my setup, I would just, we do have a W, but like I said, it's pretty ugly W, but it is there. Either way, we're in the process of establishing the range here. So wherever the top comes in right here, I'll just be looking for the move down again and then look for my divergences over here. So I don't know, maybe it does shoot right up into that level. Maybe it just kind of rips up into here, puts in an M, comes back down, and I'm looking for a W somewhere over here with a divergence on that move. So you can almost see it. Well, you can't see it yet. Sorry. But you can see how, whenever this tops, OBV will roll over. And then in this area right here, I'm going to be looking for some kind of higher low as we make that new low. And then the next W, I would say that's a good chance to take a shot. Where it sits right here, I think it's your guess is as good as mine whether it goes up or down from right here. I don't know if I can really say. All I can say is looking at RSI here, it's pointing higher. It's above the 50 line, shooting straight up. Got plenty of room to move higher. OBV is, for whatever it is, just pointing straight up. No nice W, but it's just pointing straight up. So, and then our first stop of resistance is really up here. So I don't know, moves up into this 40 cents seems pretty likely. That's about all I can say about that. All in the leads. Yeah, Nick is all in the leads. I wonder if is XMR the best thing to buy Quaaludes with? I don't know. I don't know if I trust those dark web leads. So anyway, I think that's probably enough names to look at. I'll just once again just try to put into context that what I was saying. I do like that conversation of the Adam and Eve. It's just like wherever the first bottom comes in, just let that bounce happen, and like then just hunt over here. Draw our fibs. This is it's not complicated. You learn how to draw your fibs, and you learn how to identify a range, and you learn how to hunt good location, which typically is 61.8 and below. And really, if you can hunt 78.6, even better. I can't tell you how many times you'll see this 78.6 become the weekly W later. So ultimately the weekly W ends up coming in right off of that level. I mean, it happens all the time. So this is what they call an Adam and Eve. I'll let you figure out why they call it that. It's just a nice way to frame a trade, it keeps you out of trouble because of course you could bang nice trades out right here, but if you're not the kind of sniper that can zoom in at a daily chart or a 4-hour chart and look for W's and see if there's a trade in here and work a stop and try to catch this move, I mean, that's a super viable way of trading. A great. I'm not saying don't do that. I'm just saying that's more. It's going to require more effort in terms of becoming a trader, like a swing trader, or like a. Because I don't really like buying a V bottom on a weekly chart. Like, sure, it might do this, and you might catch that move, but it also might do this first. It might just keep going down. I mean, perfect example. I mean, this did take off, but then it still had to make a new low. This is very V bottom looking, and sure enough, we had to test the lows again. Doesn't mean you couldn't have banged a trade off right there. It just means the kind of trading I'm talking about doesn't, this sort of like slowed down weekly chart kind of investing. I mean, keep in mind, remember we were talking about accumulation year. This is what the accumulation year looks like. This is exactly what you would expect to be every 4 years in crypto. And then opposite to that, you expect some sort of blow off top. So how that was March of 2022, and then now we're in December of 2023. So we're like well into, what I would say this sort of bottoming process, this like rounded bottom process. We're getting really far into it so that we can start churning higher and making this next euphoric top sometime after the Bitcoin halving. And so if you kind of follow this this sort of shape that I made a mess of now, it kind of keeps you out of trouble. It puts you in a position to buy sort of more over here in this rounded bottom. So you don't have to stress out through all this. You kind of, there was no real great reason to be a buyer in here, in my opinion. Like, sure, we had OBV divergences coming in. We're in a brutal bear still. We're making a new low. If you're a diehard crypto nut, you might be in there buying. But like, you also could be this patient person that's waited until over here. And then hopefully you see now that we're getting damn close to being a buyer in stuff like this, like as like an investor, I should say. You might argue we're starting to miss it. So, I mean, not me, but like, I'm talking like I don't know, all of us. Who are these people? I'm by myself in my room here. Who am I talking to? So anyway, hopefully you get the point on that spiel. That's what I've been trying to say all year. And regardless of whether I'm right or wrong about whether Bitcoin goes up or down, or, I feel like I'm probably wrong all the time, at least half. None of that really changes as long as I'm just doing what I'm trying to say I'm doing here, which is that thing I just explained to you. It doesn't really matter if I'm right or wrong about Bitcoin right here, as long as I mean, we definitely don't have time to pull up the Bitcoin chart again, but if I would have followed this same approach with Bitcoin and I would have been buying at like 15, 16, 17, then now I'm not really worried about whether I should buy Bitcoin right here. Hopefully I already had a sell in mind, whether I was selling halves on doubles. You could have banged doubles out on Bitcoin already. Or if you're going to hold for glory days, I don't know, whatever, as long as you have that plan, then right now it doesn't matter if I'm right or wrong about what Bitcoin does right here. Again, we're in this fucking super precarious place where it could rip up to 48, rip down to 32. I don't know. All I know is I'm kind of hoping for the sort of pullback so that I can, see some of these charts offer up another round of buy opportunities. Because personally, I still want to buy altcoins. I don't really want the bull to just start right here. So if it does, I'll take what I have and make do with it, and that'll be fine. And I'll just fucking say this dinger is now up 1,000% on the day down. I keep looking to my right side of my screen, and this number's been all over the place. It was like 800, then it went down to like 400. Now it's back at 900. I mean, this thing is just moving like crazy. Yeah, look at that dip. Like, are you the kind of degen that can buy that dip? Maybe. I'm not saying don't. It's just kind of that conversation of getting back. You can't even think about chasing until you have risk management down, though. Let's leave it at that. I'll just say, I would never, like, like I'll probably always say, don't chase this here, don't chase that here. But when it comes to like this kind of trading, fuck it, man. I do it if you want, but also do it with healthy risk management. So just like Paul was saying earlier, like when he takes those THG trades, he has a defined stop. He can there's a lot of advantages of that type of trading because he can identify his position size and he can size his position according to the stop. And then of course THG provides us with a reasonable level to work your stop, and then he can just let the trade work. And even if he's chasing something like right here in this dip, if he was finding THGs in there on like 5-minute time frame or whatever, then sure, he's taking it. And if it gets stopped out, he's only losing 1R, right? And R is the position size. So 1% or 0.5%, whatever you're betting, hopefully you're keeping it to 5% or less. And honestly, I think it should be lower than that. But if you're willing to say, okay, I'm going to throw 1% here down on this dip, and I'm going to walk away, and when my stops hit, then fucking chase away. And like, sure, in this case, you might have gotten lucky and not stopped out, and now you're just ripping, and really you're not taking any additional risk. The problem is that's not what people do, right? Most people, well, first of all, they don't even wait for the dip; they buy it at highs, and then they like don't practice risk management. So if they have like a $10,000 account, they put like all 10 grand in that trade. And that's just not how you make it. Like, sure, there's going to always be somebody on Twitter that made it that way. There's always going to be somebody that lucked out, but that's not sustainable. So even with this like degen chasing, I'm all for it. I just think you have to do it in a healthy way. Like, you can't do it in a way that's going to blow you up. So hopefully, that's the kind of thing we're trying to teach in the Cappy One. So it's like, I can't tell you what style of trading is best for you, or I can guarantee that every style kind of works. Like, I believe that any style has the potential of working. It's just, can you not fuck yourself up in the process? Can you find a way to figure out what works for you? And then can you go and execute that with healthy risk management so that you're not blowing yourself up? Then I don't know, buy whatever shitcoin you want at whatever level you want. And then of course, hopefully you have some sort of sense of like sentiment in general, like of course, degenning shitcoins in a brutal bear market. If you're trying to long and expect 20Xs and shit, maybe not the best time to be doing that. But right now seems like a pretty damn good, like, I don't know, go look at Solana coins and see how they've been performing of late. So, anyway, I hope that, I don't know, hopefully that's helpful to somebody. And let me just read Nick's comment here really quick. Some people say there's some kind of price suppression happening on XMR and that exchanges have less supply than they show. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe. I suppose we'll never really know, It's kind of, we'll never be privy to the insider's information unless you're an insider. But maybe. I think all we can do is, you can take a shot on that W on XMR, and I think that's a reasonable thing to do, and it might not work. And I think in general, if you can hang on into any of these names, you'll probably, as long as you can buy in relatively decent location, then you'll probably be okay. Of course, you have to figure out what relatively decent location is. Something like this dinger, you buy it right here, and sure, it might be way up here in the bull market, but it also might be way down here, and you'd have a lot of downside risk here buying it when it's 900% up on the moment for the day. So anyway, always a pleasure talking to everybody. I'll be back on Tuesday to talk crypto at 20 UTC, I think, or I think it's 19 UTC. I don't know. It's the stock market close, right? Whenever the stock market closes, that's when I talk crypto. Maybe I'll get into some of these like deck screener names. That'd be fun. And I know that I'll probably learn some things on Monday, because on Monday we have Kuchor coming on our premium stream to sort of give us the rundown of how you can get set up to trade on chain. So I'm looking forward to that tomorrow. Just talking with him about, well, I hope to get some answers to questions like how do security becomes an issue, for example. So if you're not really up to date on how to operate on chain, then you might be putting yourself to risk in terms of like systemic risk, wallets getting hacked and shit. So hopefully we'll learn some stuff about that. Hopefully we'll learn a little bit about what chains he's looking to trade on moving forward, and how we can go about doing that, best apps to use for each chain. And yeah, it should be pretty insightful. So if you are a premium member, that's going to be tomorrow at, I guess at like a couple hours after we finish our New York session, and it'll be recorded, so everybody will have access to that, and maybe we'll release it on YouTube to the public afterwards. We'll see how that goes. But thanks, Couture, for offering to do that tomorrow. And then, like I said, Tuesday I'll be talking on YouTube again about crypto, so I can share some of those insights then. And Paul will be doing his daily plan video every day, highlighting levels for
Well,
the day.
actually, Kevin, sorry to
Mhm.
intervene. Actually, it was Bochan that said that
Oh,
we'll do that
I'm
tutorial.
so sorry. Fuck, sorry,
You said Couture.
Butchon. I say Couture, but you guys they're partners in crime. I get it. That's
Yeah.
funny. So anyway, Bochan, excuse me, not Couture. Thank you for correcting me. So yeah, anyway, so sorry about that. But yeah, we'll be back tomorrow for that. And then I was just finishing my spiel saying that Paul's also making the daily plan videos, so check those out. Every day around the London session for traders. And then every Tuesday, we also do the the New York session is open to the general Discord members. If you just want to get a sense for how we trade every day during the New York session, then hop into that. It's just a Discord call. And yeah, that's a shit ton of content we're making every week. We're going to be doing those interviews now a couple times a month. And yeah, it's a lot. And then, of course, the Capua One starting in January. So reach out to me if you're interested in that. And other than that, we'll be back next Sunday for this show. And that's about it. So unless Paul has anything else he'd like to say, I'm going to just probably hit our little disclaimer button and wish you all a good rest of your weekend.
Well, you know me, I'm not the best one to say goodbye. But if you are interested in learning how to trade, we have a really good program to help you become a swing trader. Now, you can join our Discord for free. You can be an investor for free. You have a Road to Financial Freedom plan and the spreadsheet free. If you want to be a swing trader, I think a swing trader can be done for everyone if you have the will to do it. That's my thing. If you want, we can help you become. Will not work for you, but we can try to help you to become one. I don't know if we'll announce it later. If we'll do next week and 2 weeks from now. We have holidays. I don't know if we'll do this live stream. Now,
Yeah,
so
we'll have to
if
look at the
not,
schedule.
we'll hear us again in January. We'll decide. I'll talk with Kevin. We didn't discuss it yet. We'll discuss that and we'll post on Discord what we'll do when we'll do the live stream next time.
Yeah, because I guess next week is Christmas Eve, huh? Well,
Yep.
yeah, we'll figure that out. Yeah, we'll let everybody know. If not, we'll just keep on trucking next year. So always the holidays can be a little volatile for the markets. Always keep that in mind too around that Christmas holiday. Don't tell your cousin to buy Bitcoin right here. You'll regret it. That's all. That's pretty much a given.
Just don't fuffle. Just don't do it. Keep it for yourself.
All right, cool. Yeah, have a good rest of your weekend, everybody. Thanks so much, and we'll see y'all back for trading tomorrow. So take care.